The former Finance Minister Seth Terkpe has predicted Ghana will miss the deal from the International Monetary Fund in the first quarter of 2023. His comment follows President Akufo-Addo's promise that Ghana will secure a deal from the IMF by the end of March this year. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-atta has earlier revealed that Ghanaian economy will grind to a halt if Ghana fails to secure IMF deal by mid-March this year. But reacting to the statement, the former Finance Minister Seth Terkpe said Ghana will struggle to meet the conditions necessary for securing IMF bailout in the first quarter of 2023. Now, let's expand the conversation. The financial economist and adjunct lecturer at UPSA, Dr. Nene Adams Asafote, joins us on the line. Good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Great. Is Ghana likely to miss the IMF deal in the first quarter of this year, by your assessment?
Well, good afternoon once again to you and to our cherished viewers. I will say that the debt exchange program has been handled in the most haphazard, chaotic, distressful manner. And we have said earlier that there were a lot of things that government should do in order for us to move to the next level, which is the executive board level approval. We have virtually, or the government has virtually ignored that. And now they are telling us that by end of first quarter, we may be having, the funds coming in. For me, it appears that Senior Terkpeh, former finance minister, is not too far from the truth that possibly we may not be getting it.
All right. What do you think are the key issues hindering us securing, or probably might hinder us from securing such a deal, which we know, according to the finance minister, will likely lead us to the ditch?
Well, you remember that just about 2 weeks ago, Fitch downgraded us to a default status because we have defaulted, and they have also hinted that if we don't take care, they're going to downgrade us further to the minimum, to the least grade. We cannot go any, further down. And that is an indication that things are not going right. You will also see that we've had it very, very rough with the individual, pensioners, bondholders, the Bankers Association, the pension, the insurance associations, and all the major stakeholders. So largely, we have not done well. And even if you look at the president's initial statement by asking Germany to beg China to, give us some debt forgiveness or cooperate, it's an indication that things are not going right.
All right.
And recently he announced that that is going to be, postponed or rescheduled. And so we don't know when it's going to come through.
I'm sure you've observed the fundamentals since early last year to now. Per your observation, can Ghana survive without an IMF deal, possibly in the first quarter of this year?
Well, we said this over and over again, that not securing the facility will not augur well for us. It is going to create a lot of, discomfort in the system. It's going to cause us to have a lot of problems. We will probably run out of reserves. That means that the purchasing power of our currency will fall astronomically. And we don't want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. And so it's tough times as we speak. And right from the beginning of the year, when the budget came out, we indicated that government will have to do a lot more. We indicated that government has to put in stringent measures to manage inflation. What have we seen? It's hovering around, in the 50s bracket. We said that we should put measures in place to cut down astronomically on expenditure. What have we seen? We're budgeting around 6, heading to 7% of deficit at the end of year. And so all these things will not help the process. And that is a little bit scary.
Okay, we understand that when Ghana went to the IMF somewhere, the last time we went to the IMF, there were conditions, prerequisites before we had access to the bailout. This time round, most of the bilateral countries that we had a relationship with always focus on conditions. Are we to expect further restrictions of conditions before we get some kind of debt relief? Possibly as we're going to China, of course, we've known that it has been postponed, but definitely it is likely to happen. What's your take on that?
Well, the point is that when it comes to the, our bilateral relationships, okay, it depends largely on how we relate to them. And mostly China tends to give blanket loans without so much conditionalities. But I think that when we are asking for forgiveness or some form of reorganization, they may come with some few terms. You remember they were mentioning debt swap. And I was like, hey, our state enterprises are going to be taken over on the blind side. And so we will have to wait to see what kind of conditions they may be bringing on board. But I would have loved that these processes would have started right from the beginning of the debt exchange program, so that by now we'll see our way clear. And still briefing us, giving us information on where they've gotten to and what they are doing, it's not going well. And so let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nene Adams Asafotai, for giving us such an insight. He is the financial economist and adjunct lecturer at UPSA, giving us insight regards to Ghana's IMF deal. There are a lot of conversation, but we shall break it down here on Metro TV.